And this is why safety is so important in woodworking or anything else that you might do in the garage. Yes, this absolutely hurts. So just in case you didn't know what happened, I caught my finger in the belt sander and it nearly ripped off all of my nail bed on my index finger. And you can kind of see there that it is completely bleeding, and we still tough through it and make it happen. So for this particular project, just wanted to do a Veterans Day type of bowl. I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I remember these toys from when I was a kid. If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, or even before then, I think they still make these, obviously, because I picked up a package of them. I wanted to put them in epoxy resin, make a bowl out of them, and just see what kind of cool thing we could kind of get. Just a veterans theme kind of bowl. And if you've never played with these things, or if you were never a kid, obviously you have no idea what these are because there's no electronics, there's no batteries. They're just simple little green little army men. For all you kids that play Call of Duty, if you ever played Army Men 3D on the original PlayStation, amazing game. So picked these up at a local Hobby Lobby. Decided, you know what would be cool for Veterans Day? Put these little guys in epoxy and honor Veterans Day with doing a cool Veterans Day type of bowl. So here we are, got this giant little pot that I picked up at the local, I think the dollar store, and then just got these giant waste blocks in the middle of it, which are going to come in handy. Filled up the sides of the brim full of these little green army guys. Didn't put them in any kind of particular order. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill this bad boy full of East Coast resin and see what kind of blank we got out of it. So here we are, got everything filled up. I originally put some like green, like olive drab tint into the resin, but as you'll see a little bit later, you can't even tell that like the resin itself, once the casting is done, is actually green. So got that all mixed up nice and neat. Poured about, I think, 32 ounces worth of resin for this particular project. You can see a slight green little tint to it. I didn't want to make it too dark because I wanted the army men to come like through on the actual epoxy. But filled this bad boy up, got everything glued up, used a lot of waste block, put it in the pressure pot, and then we got this pretty good casting out of it. I was really happy with the way this kind of turned out. It was a really good casting, no bubbles, no real big complications. Came out of the actual Tupperware bowl real nice and neat. You can see how crystal clear that stuff is. Kind of can tell there's a little bit of color in it, but not really. But overall, everything was really good. So this is where I ended up fucking up my finger really, really badly. So I got this new cool Ryobi belt sander, and I was not paying attention to where my fingers were in this particular project, and ended up catching my index finger on my left hand to the freaking sanding belt, which I did not get on film. You won't actually see the initial incident, but this is kind of what happened. So this is immediately right after I injured myself. Blood everywhere, and I am just, I'm not in shock, but I'm just kind of like, please don't be broken. So I think at worst, it just basically tore the nail bed off of it. And here I am. I am an Army medic, by the way, and I basically just put a pressure dressing on it, taped it, put some gauze around it, and said, fuck it, let's get back to work, and we'll worry about if it's broke later. So went back to the sanding belt, was really mindful of where my finger was for this remaining portion of the sanding, and am just trying to get a lot of this waste block down. And yes, I could have just put it on the lathe and turned it down, but was like, you know what, I bought this sander for the specific purpose of sanding down all these waste blocks. So I'm trying to keep my finger out of the line of fire. Also, by the way, picked up me a Ryobi drill while I was at Home Depot too, obviously. So super cool, and now I got the actual faceplate on it, and I'm just putting it on the lathe and trying to keep my finger out of the line of fire. So got it on the lathe. Obviously you can see that this is a particularly heavy blank because my lathe is moving on me and dancing all around my table. So here I am just trying to smooth everything out, getting everything into a nice cylinder, and basically, I'll be honest, I'm in excruciating pain up until this point, trying to keep that finger steady, and I'm trying not to think about it, but I'm in so much pain. If you've never had your fingernails ripped off, it hurts, damn it. So then I just took the round carbide tool and I'm just trying to edge out the bottom of it, and a lot of shoddy camera work, obviously, as I'm trying to get the bottom of the bowl done, trying to stay away from all the chipping and everything. But the resin was really good on this particular project, got a lot of good shavings off of it, and here we are just basically making the mortise, which you won't actually see the entire mortise project, but because somebody walked in on me in the garage, so I had to turn the camera off. But you guys seen me make mortises before, so you guys kind of know what that looks like already. So once we, got the mortise built, now we're just reversing it on the chuck. Here we are, just taking that part of it and attaching the actual rest of the blank. Once we got everything down to a nice cylinder shape, obviously. Came back and just trying to do that cool, nice little edge on the side of it, getting all this material off, trying to make everything nice and even, as we typically will do. And you can't not stare at that giant index finger with all these bandages on it. I had to change it at least 3 times because there was so much bleeding with it. And as I'm making the commentary of this video, it still hurts like a son of a bitch right now. So here we are with a square carbide tool, and I'm really taking my time with this because even with the sanding, I didn't take down all of that excess material. I'm just basically trying to make a nice smooth edge with the square carbide and trying not to get a lot of chipping and chatter on this particular part of the build here. And we're just taking small, slight little strokes, trying to make easy work of all that leftover wood. So once we got that all done, everything went pretty smooth up into this point. Those pine boards work really well as waste blocks, and I'm just basically cutting through everything like butter up into this point. Everything's going real nice and smooth, getting really good shavings. Gouging out wasn't really a problem. I'm becoming a lot more proficient at gouging, knowing, because I have 3 different, bowl gouges that I'm using. And instead of just using the one bowl gouge all the time, I'm using different variants on the actual sizes. So you saw me there using the square carbide tool, just trying to get everything nice and even. And just really taking my time getting these cool shavings down. The epoxy set up really well, so we didn't have a lot of glass type chatter, which if you've seen some previous videos that I've done, a lot of glass chatter on those last couple of builds that I did. But up until this point, everything's going really smooth. Come back, hitting it with that round carbide tool, getting the bottom base of the actual bowl done, instead of using just the square carbide tool, which typically will give me problems up to this point. So here we are, got everything gouged out real nice and neat. Now we're just sanding, went up from 320 all the way up to 1500, and then coming back and hitting it with the micromesh. Again, trying to avoid sticking my finger anywhere. It's danger close right there on the gouge, but here's my favorite part of it, where we hit it with that nice wood wax, and you can see those cool little army guys just having out a good, good time. Looks real smooth, and then I finally turn on the bowl, or finally turn on the lathe and get everything turned down real nice and neat, get everything nice and polished. And I must say, I wish I would have just kept it really clear. You can even tell that the actual resin is actually colored, so you can get a little hint of yellow in there, but not really. It's supposed to be olive drab. But here are these armory guys, real nice and neat, real fun project to do. Hope everybody's having a good Veterans Day, and here you go. So I'll see you guys in the next project. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment. If you're a veteran, hope you guys are having a good one out there, and I'll see you guys in the next project. Peace. Alright, so project is done. I'm injured and clearly in need of some further medical care, but the bowl's done. I didn't notice all the sawdust that was on it when I did the reveal, but it looks really good. It turned out a lot better than I initially thought it was going to turn out. My finger is probably broke, at least at the distal portion of the digit there. But, I'm a veteran, and hope everybody's having a good Veterans Day out there. But just thought this would be a fun project to do. Little army men, only those old school kids know about those. But there you go, little army bowl. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna go re-bandage myself, and I don't know, take some painkillers maybe. Anyway, hope you guys liked the project. Don't forget to subscribe. Come on, my finger. It's worth it. Okay, so for all my vets out there, hope you guys are having a great time. Veterans Day, and I'll see you guys in the next project. I'm gonna go bandage. Bye.